you want to give your kids a good introduction to science so they have a solid foundation for their future? Well, there's so many great ways to do this, and as a biology major myself, I would say that using a variety of different methods is a great way to go. But today's video is all about how we use our science learning binder, which is our favorite resource for science, and we get to utilize this for independent and guided play-based learning so that we can learn, grow, and explore the natural world around us and explore a little bit about how it works. So let's get into it.
Okay, so this is the cover of our science book, and I was super excited to do the cover because I got to highlight all the different themes and topics that we were going to be covering inside of the book. So we have things like plants and animals and their classifications. We talk about biomes and habitats. We talk about the weather, a little bit of chemistry. We talk about earth sciences and space. We also talk about anatomy, and I'm really excited about that one. I think I'm going to be adding a lot more about the anatomy section fairly soon. I do have my master's in nursing, so it is near and dear to my heart that she understands how her body works. Same thing with the animals. I talk a lot about animals, and you'll see as we dive in. But this entire book is actually available on my Etsy shop, and I am just now launching it, so I'm super excited, and so I'm going to be offering a discount. You can check out the link down in the description if you would like to get the discount on the book. We also have mini bundles. This one is 100 pages, but we also have mini bundles if you just want one of the different sections or themes, and we sell them individually as well if you're interested.
Hi, my name is Jordan Ashley. Welcome back to the most magical homeschool on earth. I am a Disney homeschooling mom that works at home so that I can make my dream of being home with my kids a reality, so that we can adventure and explore the world together while we learn, grow, and bond as a family. So here in all my other platforms, my goal is to encourage and inspire and give you the tools and resources to be able to live that intentional life that you want with your family. So if that sounds interesting to you, please be sure to join our community here and on my other platforms if you are interested, and subscribe so that you can get notified when another video goes live, so we can all be together on this journey. So let's jump into the book.
So, the very first thing that I wanted her to learn is, what is science? How do we do science? Who does science? Why do we do science? And one of the first things that you have to start with is the scientific method. What is it? How do we use it? And it's really been fun to see her even already utilizing this in her daily life, in her playtime, and going around and doing little mini experiments around the house. Now, if you don't remember much about the scientific method or chemistry or any of these deeper topics that we talk about in this science book, that's okay. You are not alone. Most people are in the same boat, and that's totally all right. You can still give your kids a wonderful foundation in science without it. You can Google it, you can look on YouTube videos, or you can ask me. Let me know down in the comments if you want me to make some fun and engaging videos to go along with the book to introduce these pretty deep topics on our kids' level in a fun and engaging way that could be helpful for them, but also for us parents too sometimes. So the next thing that I wanted to do was be sure to give her an idea of what different careers in science would look like. So paleontology, zoology, ecology, we talk about medicine, like as in a doctoral medicine, we talk about veterinary medicine, we talk about marine biology, we talk about physics and chemistry, all different kinds of careers, ones that she can learn a little bit about, then continue to learn about the ones that she is most interested in. We do some pretend play after this, and it's been really fun to see her explore, especially paleontology right now is a big hit. That and veterinarian, of course, are always big hits with kids. So the next section is all about living things, all about animals, and then plants. So first off, we have to talk about what is a living thing and what is a non-living thing, and what are the key distinctions. What makes a mammal a mammal? It has a backbone, hair, fur, warm-blooded, it drinks milk, it has live young. Now this next page has examples of different mammals that your little ones might already know and love. And so it is not an introduction to new animals per se, rather it is showing kids the animals that they already know and making the connection between the classification of mammal. So you might not have to introduce the concept of this is a monkey, but you can use this page to make the connections and further solidify the understanding of this is a monkey is a mammal. as compared to some of the other animal classifications like reptiles. So as you move on to the reptiles page, we have the same format. So we have classifications, we have animals that represent the reptile classification, and then we have birds as well. What makes a bird a bird? And then they move on to the life cycle of a chicken. So this is a little bit different. A few of the different animal classifications have life cycle pages as well, because I thought that was an important note, something that's usually taught in those little years. Now, when it came to the fish, this was a tricky part. Now, because there's such a variety of fish in the world, there are not a lot of things that all fish have. So I did highlight the things that they all have, as well as things that most people think of when they think of fish, things that are pretty universal. There are quite a few fish out in the sea and otherwise in lakes and ponds and rivers and other bodies of water that have these characteristics like fins, cold-blooded, scales, etc. And then we move on to amphibians. So this one is a really fun one. Definitely has some fun life cycle facts in there. So we have 3 different activities here, one that helps us classify amphibians, one that gives us examples of amphibians, and one that walks us through the life cycle of a frog, from tadpole, those little eggs, all the way up to a full-grown frog. Moving on to insects, we have the different classifications of insects and several different examples. There are so many different types of insects in the world. These are just hitting the highlights there, some that are very commonly known to our littles. And then, of course, we have a butterfly life cycle, which is very popular for our age range. Now, moving on to our animal tracks page, we have different tracks that we have to match with the animal that made them, and people as well there. So we do a lot of real world exploring, and we look for different tracks in the real world. So this is just a way for her to start learning. So the next section of the book is focusing on different habitats and biomes and different ecosystems. So we start off with some things that are very common in the little years, things that we learn about, like the farm. We can move the animals anywhere that they want. It's a good busy book page for them. Most of these animals they already know, farm animals, animals in the home. Moving on then to ones that are a little bit more guided learning at first. So we talk a lot about the desert, and then we move on to the temperate forest and the swamp. Now, I've actually worked with animals a lot in my past. I have worked with them in the zoo. I've worked with orangutans, elephants, lions. Oh my! And I've also taught about them in zoos and at Disney World. And so it's been really fun to be able to teach my kids about animals as well. Now, we also have the ocean and the tundra, or the Arctic. I do not have that page in the book currently. Then we move on to the plant biology section where we talk about the different parts of the plant, what plants need. So we do a lot of plant unit studies, gardening. But these activities have been super helpful because they're something that she can do on her own time, something to keep her busy, but also something that we can dig deeper into while she is doing a hands-on activity. I can kind of give her a more in-depth look at what it means to be a horticulture specialist or a plant biologist. We also have this flower pattern activity where she gets to practice her patterns, and we do talk a little bit about colors and different similarities and differences on this page as well. We have our numbers flower. But this has been super helpful for number recognition. We learn the English and Spanish words for the numbers, and we have a lot of fun with that. Then we move on to our tree assembly. So this is an activity where she gets to practice learning the different parts of a tree, what they are used for. We go in depth about the biology of it, but also we get to practice our number recognition, writing, our handwriting. We get to follow instructions, and she gets to build a tree based on whatever numbers I write, or she gets to write the numbers based on what she sees, or she gets to write the recipe for the tree, if you will, and I will fill it in, or we will try to teach her little sister as well. When we move on to soil layers, we talk about the different layers of the earth. And move on to recycling, we talk about the different types of recycling, how we recycle, as well as other ways that we can contribute to conservation around the world. We talk about the layers of the earth, and these are all portions of our earth study, earth science study, and then we talk about the animals around the world. So with our animals around the world, I wanted her to have an understanding of geography. And one way that we keep them engaged is to introduce the idea of animals when we are talking about geography. It helps her learn the names of the continents, the names of the oceans, because she gets to think about the things that she likes, like those cute little animals and where they live, their habitat, their biomes, things like that. We do the same thing with our oceans and continents page. So we are still talking about earth science and moving into weather. We have the seasons where she learns the different months of the year, which are associated with the different seasons and how that changes. And then moving on to a matching page where we match different things that are associated with those seasons, at least in our part of the world. And we have a weather page that is changed every day based on today's weather. So she will decide what the weather is by looking outside, make her observations. If it changes, she can come back and fix it to be whatever it is. And here in Florida, we do get a lot of changes, especially with this precipitation. We learn about the different types of precipitation and then moving on to the water cycle. So condensation, precipitation, collection, evaporation. Now, this is a very elementary level introduction to the water cycle, nothing too deep at this stage. And then this is another activity that is just super easy, super fun. She gets to count the different rainbows, lightning bolts, clouds, sunshines, rainbow, or the rain drops, things like that. She will practice her counting. And then moving on to chemistry, we talk about the different states of matter, solid, liquid, and gases. And we have quite a few little experiments that we plan on doing that help her understand those concepts at this little age. And then this is just a matching page where she gets to match the solid, liquid, and gases. Then we move on to astronomy. We talk about our solar system. We talk about the different planets in our solar system, what they are, what order they're in, some different characteristics of them. And this is just super fun ways for her to stay engaged with a hands-on manipulative while I am kind of reading her a book that I got from the library or giving her knowledge that has stuck with me over the years. The next page is a space versus earth page, things that you'll find in space versus earth. And we also have these pages, which I have now reordered to being part of our I Could Be a Scientist section, because measurements are so important when you are learning to be a scientist because you have to be able to collect data. So we do shortest to longest, tallest to shortest, and we talk about the differences that we observe. We also have a measuring with squares page, so she will use squares as her unit of measurement. And then we move on to anatomy. So as I've mentioned, I am a nurse and a nursing professor. So helping my daughter understand her body is important to me. So we are starting that pretty early. Now I have made just the different like major body parts and body organs section at this time. We will dive a lot deeper in the near future. And I decided to make multiple different skin tones. Next, we have our senses page where she gets to just match the different 5 senses. And that is it. This is our science book. This is something that I think she will love and enjoy not only this year, but next year as well. And I'm pretty sure my 2-year-old might be able to do some of the pages, especially on the animal section. And I'm excited to try those out with her. This is something that took me a while to make. It was totally worth it to me, but it is not necessary. If you do not think that you need it for your homeschool, that's okay. Every homeschool is different, every family is different. Even if you're not homeschooling, whatever helps your kid thrive and grow and learn and be excited about learning, then great. That's perfect. do not feel pressured to go on Etsy and get my specific book. You do what is best for your family. And I just want to encourage you that no matter what season of life you're in or whatever your situation looks like, it's okay for each and every family's home education to look different. Next week, I will be coming out with a video of how I made this, both the creation of the files all the way to completion. And so be sure to subscribe. If this video has been helpful to you, please give it a like. Comment down below which activity looks most exciting for you and your little ones, or what do you want to see more of? Is there an activity that I missed in the science world, or otherwise? I'm just so interested to know what you think. And that's it, pal. I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.